Hey Bible believers, Israel coming here from In Thy Word, doing this live stream on the way to the gym today. And what I wanted to talk about today, something that's really important for a number of reasons. Okay, Proverbs 27:17, famous, really popular Bible verse, for a number of reasons. And I thought I'd talk about this for a number of reasons today. Depending on how you look at the verse, okay, and I'll quote it for simple reference, where it says, the Bible says in Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpeneth iron. Okay, and it goes on to talk about how a friend ultimately makes a friend stronger. And I can go some different ways. It's interesting. I've already talked about how I'm on the way to the gym. It's interesting because for some context, when I go to the gym, I kind of mentioned this in the last live stream a couple of days ago. When I go to the gym, every time I go to the gym, I send a picture to my friend who lives in a completely different city, but he goes to the gym as well. Okay, and he does the same thing. So when he goes to the gym, he sends me a picture, and it's a way that we've used it as as accountability, basically, just to encourage each other to stay motivated, to see someone else that we know want similar things, do the exact same thing. Okay, and it applies to the scripture at hand, because ultimately that's how people grow. That's one way people grow. He's encouraging me, I'm encouraging him. The mere fact that there's days we might not necessarily talk on the phone, but there's still days where we might not talk, but I'm expecting him to send me a picture. I don't know how it is on his part. He might be expecting me to send him pictures sometimes, but the fact of the matter is, that alone, okay, knowing that, okay, he's gonna send me a picture, or I'm gonna send him a picture, that's motivation. And we're friends, obviously we talk about other stuff, but just simply a simple picture is motivation. Okay. Another thing that we can talk about, because this scripture, some people like to limit it to just simple things, but it's so much bigger than that. So another example, this weekend, me and my wife, we went out on the weekend with my brother and his wife. Okay, and we spent quite a few hours together. Okay, eating. We had dinner together. Then we went to a dessert shop. And the really interesting thing about this is, and we said to them at the time, we spoke about a range of different things. One of the more memorable things, for me anyway, was a lot of the Bible discussions we had. We had a lot of discussion about just how to raise children. Obviously, we both have children at varying ages. Okay, obviously, our kids are younger, but we're still in a position where we can both talk about these things and grow. Okay, and because of that, we talked about loads of different things. We talked about raising children, we talked about relationships, we talked about marriage, we talked about the state of the church, all of these different things. And it's actually interesting, because what I wanted to talk about in regards to that example was, as a married couple, what is one way you can grow? Okay, one way you can grow is by example, by other people, by being with other people and talking to those people about different things. Okay, so we did talk about marriage at one point. Okay, and just getting different perspective, talking to people about different stuff, talking to people about what works for us, talking about things what don't necessarily work for us, and ways we can improve and stuff like that. Okay, there was loads of different things we discussed, and even more so, I kind of mentioned it already, some of the things we talked about were just the state of the church, and some of the things the church isn't doing right. Some things the church, we talked about some things the church are doing right, but we talked about some things the church aren't doing right, and how we as individuals, but also as a group, can improve things. Okay, and when you think about it like that, it's like even my brother's got things he's supposed to do, there's things I'm supposed to do myself, and when you put all of that stuff together, it's like kind of like what I alluded to in regards to my friend in the gym and us taking pictures and sending it to each other. Just merely by talking with someone else, what are we doing? Okay, we're sharpening the iron. Okay, our marriage can increase, his marriage can increase and get sharpened. His ministry, my ministry, both of those things can get stronger together. Okay, and there are things we do together. There's things obviously we do separately, but either way, having that connection, having that access to someone else is something that helps. Okay, so how can you apply this to yourself? Well, if you haven't kind of discovered already how, based on some of the examples I've talked about already, coming up to the gym in a couple, probably in a minute or two, one thing you can do, okay, is see where you're struggling. Okay, where are you having hardships in different areas of your life, and all you have to do really is find someone that can help you grow. Now this like so many principles in scripture aren't just bound to scripture. Okay, these are things that can apply across the board, okay, across the globe, into any area. Okay, you start talking about mentorship in, say, for example, work. You start talking about mentorship in regards to how you eat, and mentorship in how you exercise, all of these different kind of things. There's so many different examples that maybe they're not God-based per se, but the principle still applies. But things where you need help, seek someone out that can help you. And this is the mistake some people make. The person doesn't even need to be further along than you. The person doesn't even need to be better than you. It just needs to be someone that can motivate you. Okay, let me give you an example of that. So me and my daughter, okay, one thing we'd like to do is before she goes to bed at some point, we go for a Bible study. Okay, and we're just literally working our way through the Bible. Okay, and she'll ask questions, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, she's 5 years old right now, and some people would make the mistake of thinking that they can't grow in that environment, and they say to themselves, well, she can grow, obviously, but I can't grow because I've been saved for X amount of years, and there's nothing she can teach me. And that would be a huge mistake for anybody to make, because anyone, okay, can teach anyone. It's all it really comes down to, and this would be a good way to sum up today's live stream, today's teaching. I'm about to turn into the gym here. Okay, is all of this is centered around humility. So if you don't have the humble heart to say, okay, you know what, I want to go to the next level, I want to grow, then this will never work for you, because I could turn around, let's say for example, all the examples I've used today. So I could turn around to my friend and say, you know what, I know more about health and fitness than him. Whether that's true or not, that doesn't even matter. Okay, but if I turned around and said, I know more about health and fitness than you. I don't want any sort of advice from you. I don't want any sort of accountability with you. Then I cut off that area. But just by him sending me pictures, okay, every time he goes to the gym, that's motivation. That's encouragement. Okay, that's me knowing that somewhere, okay, in a different city, I've got someone like-minded. Okay, someone I know, known for years. Okay, who's doing the same thing I'm doing. It's a motivation. Let's say for example I say, you know what, I don't want marriage advice from someone else. Okay, because I've seen certain flaws in people's marriages. So because I've seen those flaws, I don't want anything to do, I don't want no advice. But what about the flaws in my marriage? Okay, and humility is the only thing that will make you realize that. Pride will lift you up and say, you know what, this person hasn't been married as long as me, this person's marriage isn't as good as mine, all these different things. Okay, and we can, the thing about pride is, pride will make rational things that should be understood rationally, irrational. So for example, okay, previously known as Lucifer, now Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call him, what happened to him? Okay, he was created by God in high stature, but what did he do? He turned around and said, I want to be like the Most High. He's basically saying he wants to be God. Okay, so that's how pride can make someone who should be rational, irrational. Okay, he knew he was created, but that wasn't good enough for him. He turned around and said, you know what, although I've got this high status, I want more. So humility is what makes this work. This is what makes everything go here, because if you're not willing to grow, that's what's going to happen. You're going to reject what happens. You're going to reject things that can help you, and ultimately you'll be the one that regrets it in the long term. So I thought I'd just share that with you today. Okay, use those different examples because I know they'll be beneficial. And I'm just parking up here, about to walk over to the gym. So on that note, signing off. Thanks and take care.